Welcome to another exciting journey. Today we're diving deeper into the critical analysis of the statement, "Obey Allah and obey the Messenger." This is part 2 of our exploration. The claim we're examining is one often made by proponents of Hadith. Obey Allah means only obeying the Quran, and obeying the Messenger means obeying Hadith. Now, some people argue that the Christian concept of the Trinity is illogical, saying that 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 simply doesn't make sense. But how logical is the claim that obey Allah means obeying the Quran and obeying the Messenger means obeying Hadith? This would imply that since obeying Allah means obeying the Quran, then obeying the Messenger, Hadith, would mean not following Allah. Let's break it down step by step. If we say that Allah equals Quran, A equals X, and Messenger equals Hadith, B equals Y, then it logically follows that Allah does not equal Quran plus Hadith, A does not equal X plus Y. Why? Here are the reasons. 1. Distinct definitions. By definition, Allah, A, is equivalent to the Quran, X, not to the Messenger, B, or the Hadith, Y. Adding Hadith, Y, to the Quran, X, introduces a new term, creating a composite entity that wasn't part of the original definition of Allah, A. 2. Logical exclusivity. If Allah, A, and Messenger, B, are distinct entities, their outputs, Quran, X, and Hadith, Y, must also remain distinct. Combining them into Quran plus Hadith, X plus Y, creates a composite authority which doesn't align with the original separate definitions. Logical implications. If Allah is not equal to the Quran plus Hadith, then Hadith becomes a separate independent entity. This leads us to two possible conclusions. Separation of authorities. By this logic, Hadith would derive its authority independently or from a source outside of Allah. This raises questions about its legitimacy as a divine command, Hadith as an independent source. If Hadith is not intrinsically tied to Allah or the Quran, it stands alone as an independent source of guidance. This implies dual authority, which challenges the unity of divine guidance. A challenge to unity. If Hadith introduces new laws or obligations not found in the Quran, it effectively creates a secondary authority alongside Allah. From a logical perspective, this undermines the principle of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, and introduces the risk of associating partners with Allah in legislation and governance. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Some Hadith proponents argue that Hadith is also Wahi, revelation from Allah, just like the Quran. This would mean Allah equals Quran plus Hadith. Now, let's pause and think about this. If Allah equals Quran, and simultaneously Allah equals Quran plus Hadith, we have a logical contradiction. It's like trying to argue that 1 + 1 = 1. Feeling dizzy yet? This is akin to the logic of the Trinity, 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. How can we critique that while making equally illogical claims? Conclusion. If Allah equals Quran and Messenger equals Hadith, then combining them into Allah equals Quran plus Hadith violates the principles of logical consistency and distinct definitions. Thus, the statement, "Obey Allah" means obeying the Quran, and obeying the Messenger means obeying Hadith, cannot be logically justified. That's it for part 2 of our deep dive into Obey Allah and Obey the Messenger. In part 3, we'll dig even deeper into the validity of this claim. Before we critique the logic of others, like the Christian Trinity, we must ensure we're being logical ourselves. If you've enjoyed this journey and reflection, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay critical, stay curious. Peace be upon you.